Hey folks, Joseph Rampola here from AWE TV, and I am here with Nir, author of the book Hooked. Nir, tell us about some of your research and tell us about your book.
Sure. So the book is a how-to guide for builders, innovators, entrepreneurs who are making technologies that they want to turn into habits. So I profile companies that many of us would consider very habit-forming products, the archetypes of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and Snapchat. And I look at these companies to analyze what is it about these companies, what are the common patterns from a psychology point of view that makes these products so habit-forming.
Nice. So let's talk about some of the research that you've done because you are a professor
A
and
lecturer, not a professor.
you're a lecturer. Tell us like some of the research that you've done and kind of how this research you're using to kind of figure out what habits people are doing and how we can learn from those habits.
Sure. So the summary of the book is really this four-part model that I've developed that we see time and time again in all sorts of experiences, online and offline, that create technology habits. So the four steps of this hook model, I call the model the hook model, is a trigger, an action, a reward, and an investment. And I've combined tons of research that I've looked over and that's kind of been pent up in the ivory towers of academia, unfortunately, and tried to make the research that's been done actionable to entrepreneurs. So I give this kind of step-by-step how-to guide. If your product needs to be habit-forming, and by the way, not every product does need to be habit-forming, but if your business model requires habits, then it turns out that this fundamental model, these four basic steps, have to be in your product in order to create that habit-forming experience.
All right. So the wheels are turning right now as you're saying all of this like really intense stuff. A lot of people are out there and there's kind of like a leakage of data that's out there. So I would imagine that as you're kind of applying your principles and looking at some of this data that's coming out, that's really going to be useful for entrepreneurs to figure out how they want to maybe change their business model to kind of fill that void for people. I mean, is it really coming down to looking at that data also and applying it to the model? I guess that's my
So
question.
the model doesn't skip doesn't give you a free pass on the build, measure, learn loop as espoused by Eric Ries and other folks who have developed this lean startup methodology. We still have to follow this process, right? We still have to build something, we have to measure its impact, and we have to learn from it, and then repeat the cycle. Can't skip that. What I propose is that the most expensive part of all this is the building phase. The building phase is where the blood, sweat, and tears and money all go. So if we can spend more time building the right thing, right, if we can create less waste by getting to the answer sooner, we can save a lot of time and money. And so that's what I propose, is that we should not only build what a customer tells us we should build, right? We should look deeper into the psychology of what drives user behavior so that we can build products that they'll actually use, right? We can't just listen to users because many times users don't know what they want. They're not able to actually articulate their needs. So I propose we look deeper into user psychology, into what makes people tick, so that we can assess what we should actually spend the time and money to build.
Interesting, because it almost seems too that as technology changes, for instance, Facebook was meant for college students, and then young kids picked it up. Now we're seeing that kids are running away from Facebook, but now they're on Instagram, and of course, Facebook bought Instagram. So I'm imagining it's the same type of method where they're kind of analyzing the habits of kids, kind of using some of the principles, or you're defining these principles that are taking place, and being able to use that because you're kind of really picking up on kids' habits with social networking sites.
So I think if you need a better testament for the power of habits, just look at the companies that Facebook has bought. And Facebook is a company that very much understands the power of habits from early inception. I remember when Facebook revealed that 50% of the people who use Facebook use it every day. I mean, that was a startling statistics. Very few companies can come close to that level of engagement. So when they saw a product like WhatsApp that has 74% of people who install that app use it every single day, I mean, that's the only number you need to know, 74%, when it comes to justifying that other number of 19 billion. That points to a really important metric around these products that form these very sticky habits in our lives.
Absolutely. So, what excites you the most about this conference?
So I think that whenever there's an interface change, whenever the way people interact with the technology shifts, so as we went from mainframe computers to the PC to laptops to now mobile devices, the cards get reshuffled. Everything changes, and there are there will be many multi-billion-dollar enterprises built from the interface change that we're experiencing right now. So as we're moving into wearable technology, into biometrics, into augmented reality, there's all types of new experiences which will be made possible and business models made possible because we have to reinvent the hook. The triggers change, the action change, the rewards change, and the investments change. These four basic steps. Now the deck gets reshuffled. And so that's what I'm so excited about. I think there's going to be all sorts of behaviors that help really improve people's lives, help them live happier, healthier, more connected lives by forming these new product habits.
Awesome. I love that. You have to reinvent the hook. I mean, that really that speaks volumes. So, what is the easiest way for people to get a hold of you and learn more about your book?
Sure, thanks. My book is called Hooked, How to Build Habit-Forming Products. It's available on Amazon. And my blog is nirandfar.com, Nir spelled like my first name, Nir.
Great. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.
Okay.